Welcome, comic lovers. Garvin, the old comic guy, coming at you with a interesting comic haul. I'm actually not at my house right now. A buddy got something relatively recently in a collection and asked me to take a look at it and see what I know about it and what I can tell him. And so we're going to go through that today and we'll see what happens. All right, let's see what he got. Okay, so a buddy got a collection and he found this that he wasn't familiar with. I mean, yeah, we'll kind of talk about what's familiar and what's not. What'd you get?
I got this Nintendo Comics System 3-pack bundle, still wrapped in the cellophane, for best guess 1990.
So we have Super Mario Brothers. You can kind of see some other stuff in here. This is by Valiant, and we have Super Mario Brothers, Legend of Zelda, and the Captain N. You can see the Captain N here on the back. The Legend of Zelda is hidden. And so these are sealed, which is pretty cool. And it's not like this, and weirdly, this is not a modern size comic book. It isn't. This would be Golden Age. We were looking at like a Golden Age bag and board, and this Golden Age bag and board, oops, upside down. And so yeah, it would fit a Golden Age book, which is very weird because this is, you're right, 1990. It is in fairly good shape. Like the Captain N looks a little more worn, and obviously it's an outside one because you can kind of see where there's close to creases, not bad creases. I don't think they don't look color break or anything, but it's kind of weird. And then the inside one is the Legend of Link for Zelda. Link, Link, the Legend of Zelda, and it's number 1. So what was going on in 1990? Actually, my friend wasn't alive yet. So that's kind of interesting. Top movies, Goodfellas, Total Recall, Dances with Wolves was out. What else? There were some other ones. What else came out? Misery. That was a scary movie. When the ankles, man, still creeps me out. What else? Music. Let's talk music. What was on the top hits? So, top hits were things like, Paul Abdul, Opposites Attract, right? Milli Vanilli was around. What did they have? They had their what was it called? Dang it, what was that called? Blame It on the Rain. Blame It on the Rain. That's what Mariah Carey, Visions of Love. You Can't touch. MC Hammer. MC Hammer was around. This is 1990, right? So a lot of kind of cool stuff happening. Video games. Okay, it's Super Mario's. Nah, it's not 90s. I mean, yeah, but that's not when it came out. I think if I recall right, that was in the 80s. That's the Nintendo. This is officially licensed, so I'm assuming that all of these are, yep, they all have the official license sticker on there. So pretty amazing. We'll talk about them. Let's talk about Captain N. Now, I don't know exactly if Jim Shooter was actually the editor of Valiant right around this time. So I think this is Captain N, and I'm pretty positive that this is Jim Shooter was the editor. Bob Layton was the artist. He did the pencils. The script was George Caragone, Caragone. It feels Italian, but I'm not quite sure how to say that. Ink was Art Nichols. So George was the scripter, the writer. Bob Layton did the covers, did the art. Who else? Let's see. This actually has a few stories. So the Welcome to Videoland was the Bob Layton one. The next story was the Fruit and Vegetable War, and that was Michael Chen was the penciler. Brian Lays was the writer. Pizzarito was the inker. I'm not sure who that actually is. Who else? This had like 1, 2, 4, 5 stories. Brian Lays was the scripter. The other one, what was the other one? Oh, that was the dog one. The dog one. Every dog has its day. Rodney Ramos was the penciler. Art Nichols again was the inks. And then the other story was a George Caragone. And then Ross Andrew did the pencils of the other the Money Changes Everything story was Ross Andrew with Bob Layton doing the inks. So, which wouldn't be surprising if for sure this is and again, it's sealed, right? So I don't know for sure, but maybe we'll open it up and take a look. But I believe it was Jim Shooter was the editor of that. And then let's talk about the Super Mario Brothers. This is kind of weird. Normally, my interesting comics are normally one, but I don't even remember. We'll look and see maybe the ads on this. And we'll kind of, the plan, am I right? The plan is to actually sell these on eBay. Because you didn't just, there was more than one of these bundles. And so that is kind of the plan. So let's see. This one, so this is Valiant also, and it is licensed. And this is why I don't know that Jim Shooter was the editor. Because it isn't like Jim Shooter was the only editor of Valiant. Laura Hitchcock was an editor, and so this might have been her also. Again, I don't know for sure. I will when we open it. Let's see. So again, most of these had more than one story. And usually about 4 or so. Interesting things on the stories in the Magic Carpet Madness. You can kind of see that there. That's kind of the main story for this. John Walker's the writer, and John Costanza is the penciler. And then this is another Pizzarito. And then John Walker wrote one of the other ones. I think he wrote maybe all of them. Kelly Jarvis, though, does the pencils of one of these. I don't remember exactly which one. That stuck in my head just because of the last name of Jarvis. I think that's kind of cool. Not because, well, anyway. Yeah, this is number 2. So, yeah, number 2. The other ones are number 1. So that one, the Captain N is number 1. The Link, the Legend of Zelda, that is supposedly number 1. Again, we can't really see that. There is, well, we'll get to that. What else on this? So Jarvis, Bill Valley might have scripted that one. It was either him or it was John Walker. I'm not 100% sure on that. There is a few, we'll look and see about letters and stuff and everything. And then let's talk about the Link, the Legend of Zelda, because there's a weird thing about that. And I don't know, it looks here, if I'm looking here, I can kind of see a price. So there was, but I don't know, so there was a Link, the Legend of Zelda that was no price. And that's a variant. I don't know that it was meant to have no price. I think it came in these bundles. So we'll kind of find that out. The stories, they're George Caragone. And again, I know that Shooter was the editor-in-chief, but I don't know who actually edited these until we open it. Rodney Ramos with the Legend of Zelda one. And we will open. We'll take a look at it, right? That's the plan? Okay. So, yeah. Who else did any work on that? Well, let's find out. Let's just do it and find out, because that's the plan. These look really nice. Obviously, they're still sealed, so they're probably in very good shape. The only one that looks to have any wear is this one, and actually that could be, no, that's actually some wear. Not bad, pretty nice. Let's see how they open, and we'll be very careful opening these. And I think his plan, as we talked, was to sell these on eBay. Though he's got a few, so I think he's keeping one for himself. This is not an easy open, actually. And I obviously want to be very careful. Wow. Now you get to see me struggle. The old blind guy. Let's see. There we go. Okay. Once you start it, cellophane is pretty, it's everywhere actually. It'll stick to your fingers. Let's see if it says who the editor is, because I'm curious. I do know that Jim Shooter was the editor-in-chief. It's kind of interesting because Shooter recently passed, so that's, yeah, that could bring up the value of these. Again, as somebody who grew up playing Super Mario, well, okay, I didn't grow up playing Super Mario's, but at one point I had bought a Nintendo, but I bought it. Yeah, never mind. Like, Pong was a thing, right? Who am I kidding? Pinball is a thing, right? Like, we played pinball. Let's see. So this is the... Oh my goodness. All right, so Super Mario. And I open it, and first ad I see is, and I want to be very careful not to open it very far, but first ad I see is Fist of North Star, which was an animated movie that came to the US. I have no idea when, a long time ago. And it was a Game Boy thing, so Game Boy had already been out. And of course, this is by Nintendo, so it's not surprising that we see Iron Sword, Wizards and Warriors 2 advertised on the back. It's a nice glossy, I'm liking that. The whole thing has kind of got a glossy shell cover to it. We do have that, it doesn't say who the editor is though, does it? John Walker, John Costanza, P. Zarito, Jade, in the graduations, yeah, that's one of the stories. Let's kind of look through this. This is number 2, so we might have a nice letters column in here, which we know I like. Somebody's tracking dirt on a carpet or something. Yeah, okay, so magic carpet. Then we have, some Ghostbusters 2 games, Stealth, Archon, and then there was a Three Stooges game? That's pretty cool. I mean, oh, that's Ghostbusters 2, actually. I remember watching the Three Stooges. I remember when Ghostbusters came out, both of them. This is Nintendo Comic System. So this is on sale now. So that's an advertisement for their own stuff, which is cool. And I think that's normal. And then we have a letters column. We know how I love letters columns. Dear Princess Toadstool. Flurry Mushroom Land. Triclyde. Babam. Oh my goodness. Okay, so these are obviously funny things, not like letters from people. And then we see, this is, I think, the Legend of Zelda that we're actually, yes it is. It's the Legend of Zelda that we're looking at as being advertised in this book. Except this one you see a price on. Or is it over here? And the one that we have here is a priceless, and you can kind of see where it was, which is kind of neat. Let's see, so looking through this, we want to talk about what all is in here. A lot of ads about Nintendo, of course. And then, of course, you could subscribe to Nintendo Power. That's a full thing. I mean, if you've already got Valiant to do your comic, you might as well get to put all your ads in it, right? They don't do that stuff anymore. Ooh. Wow. I don't know that I know this. So a subscription club for serious fans of American Comics International, NICE. And this is Mile High Comics. And they're advertising their new issue Comics Express. It's a division of Mile High Comics. And it's talking about selling comics internationally. So Mile High was paid for a full page ad in this, which is pretty cool. Again, we still don't see who the editor is. We do know that Jim Shooter was the editor-in-chief, but we don't actually see, they weren't doing the, so you can kind of see it here. So along the side here, I don't know if you can see that or not. Let's move it up close. You can see where they put everything. So this is the 90s. So in the 90s, they would have normally had like a blurb on the front page thing saying who was writing it and stuff. But Valiant was still kind of old school at that sort of stuff. So they had that stuff still that old way, where they either didn't have it or it was sideways. Let's see what else we got. Do we have a letters column? It is issue 2. I'm not seeing it. So maybe they didn't have a letters page. Oh, no, wait, hold on. We do. We have the Captain N advertisement, which again, that was in this bundle. And then we have a letters page. So we have a letters page. We have a Mark Phillips, Johnson City, Tennessee, Ryan McClelland from Ewing, New Jersey, and then a Matthew Lubovic from Comac, New York. Pretty cool. So this was already getting letters. We do have what's number 3 is gonna look like, and a subscription offer, right? So you could subscribe to these. This is pretty neat. This is actually really cool, and it is 1990s total comic issue. This is the no price variant, so these are probably worth more. Oddly, I didn't know this until just now, but I don't know if I can, let's see if we can see that. You can see a little outline there, if I can get that just right. Like it was originally going to be printed, or it had been stamped and didn't actually take. I don't know what the story is on that. I'm curious now on how the no price variant came about. Again, this is number 1, so we don't expect a letters column. We do know that some books had that, but most did not. What do we have? We have a picture of number 2 in here, which try to show you again. I don't want to open it all the way. This is actually probably the most valuable of these, and we'll see what they come back. My guess is pretty high, probably 9.6, 9.8, and that's usually the best way to sell them. We had talked that if he was going to sell them, the extras, that he would do that. And there's a letter basically promoting, if you climbed in the screen so you can write your comments, suggestions, and ideas to Voyager Communications, which is Valiant for this stuff. Again, nice is advertised. A lot of the same advertisements, so not crazy. All the same advertisements. All of the good stuff. Yeah, pretty amazing. I do think that's, I don't know, maybe one of you guys that, you know, regularly watch my stuff and know that this is kind of like, I'm always with the weird stuff. I'm trying to get it where you can see that little outline. Like, was that the reason? Oddly, I had stopped collecting comics in the 90s, early 90s. I stopped in the late 80s, just because of stuff going on in my life. Like, I had to grow up, sort of thing. But yeah, and so I'm not sure, given I wasn't a big, video games were in the arcades, right? People remember arcades. Do you remember arcades?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, good. Good. Just want to make sure. I was big on pinball, so yeah. So arcades were just the next thing. Most of the ads, and again, this is another #1, so it's nice. It's the Nintendo Power. All the other exactly the same ads, so that's pretty neat. It's a pretty awesome find. This would have been one, so we'll talk about that. This would have not gone to a comic shop. This was in probably a game store. That's my guess. This was in one of the game stores, maybe a store that regularly sold games. So this could be something like in the 90s, let's think. So Kmart, Walmart was around, so maybe a Walmart, maybe a Sears or J.C. Penney's. Let's see, was Woolworth still around? I don't think so. So I'm gonna, or they were on their way out if they were around. So I'm gonna say no to Woolworths, but I am gonna say, and that was more of a 5 and dime anyway. Given the price, it has a UPC. The thing did, so I'm gonna say that this is genuinely 90s goodness, because that's pretty cool, and it's the no price variant, so that will be amazing. If this comes back a 9.8, you'll be selling a lot of these. I mean, I don't know what the going price is on eBay. I don't even know how many of these there are, but I would gather that issue is worth probably close to $1,000, maybe more. So good find, good purchase, and good for you, man. So pretty cool stuff. I love this. I love having talks about comics and sharing information. And he said, hey, you know, I got these. What would you be interested in? And I said, looking at them and talking about them. And I said, absolutely, let's do this. So yeah, so he'll get these graded, and you may see these on eBay in the near future. But awesome Nintendo stuff. And if you are a Nintendo fan, of course. Interesting, I was talking to people around, and I tell you guys, take care of yourselves and all that stuff, but get out and read some comics, man. Read some comics. Don't just buy them for the covers. I mean, these are nice and cool and glossy, so that's kind of cool too, but that's all clickbait, right? Like reality, it's just about the read. Do you enjoy the read? Read some comics. Have some fun, you guys. All right, you guys take care of yourselves. Have a wonderful